All right, Doc. We's back with episode 43 of Doc and the Boxer. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel, Doc and the Boxer. Send us any questions, comments, or anything at our email, which is docandtheboxer@gmail.com. And we'd love to hear from you.
Yep.
Doc, a whole slew of fights on the weekend. I didn't even know if we're gonna even have time to go over all of them, but we'll try our best. We'll try our best.
To talk also about, if we have time, about some latest news.
Canelo
camp.
Did you hear about it?
Yeah, want to talk about that because we got a lot of fights to go through.
I was thinking, let's go through the fights first.
Yeah, and we'll leave like 5 minutes or 10 minutes to talk about the Canelo Saunders thing.
Yeah, if it's even gonna happen.
It will.
Money talk, but who knows? Maybe not. But let's see. So anyways, we're all over the place. On Saturday with DAZN having the first fight card in England. And yesterday, the Saturday card. There's a card. There's a card on Friday. The Friday fight I'm talking about on DAZN, and that is it was in York Hall, Bethnal Green. That's a very famous boxing venue, Doc. I fought there before. Very professional fight. It's a very good venue to fight at. And then we got, let's talk about Sonny Showtime Edwards from Croydon, London, England. He's now 16-0 with 4 knockouts. He wins the IBF Flyweight title versus Moruti babyface Mthalne from South Africa, who now falls to 39-3 with 26 KOs. Doc, were you able to see this fight?
Yeah, I did.
One thing before we start, this is exactly what boxing is about. What strategies need to be in place to help you win, as opposed to it's not just people going Rams head to head. The one fighter, Sonny Edwards, knew what he had to do and executed a game plan from there. So let's just hear what you had to say, Doc, and I'll give you my opinion on it.
Yeah. So he's 25.
25.
And, I call him Mthalne, but how do you pronounce it?
That sounds like a gas or something.
Methane.
Mthalne.
Mthalne.
Yeah.
So Mthalne's 38. He's 25.
Yeah.
What a perfect strategy and what a perfect opponent for him, especially in a belt fight, championship fight. Why? What do you do against a guy that's that much older than you? You make him move. You make him get his legs tired. And this kid did that from round 1 to round 12. That was amazing. Secondly, he's a lefty, which was beautiful.
Yeah.
And he looks like a young, the way he fought, like a young Ellerslie Lara.
There's Lara who fought him on this weekend too on Saturday.
Yeah, in California. Yeah. So that kid's got good feet. At such a young age, he's got great feet. I was very happy to see that fight.
Yeah, and Mthalne, he's really good. He's been undefeated for since his last loss in 2008 to Nonito Donaire.
Yeah, and that's a respectable loss.
That's exactly, because it's Nonito Donaire, who was pound for pound best at one point.
Yeah.
My thought on it, Doc, the question was Sonny Edwards, is he going to be able to continue at that pace? That was the thing, because he's only 15-0, and he doesn't have that many fights. He doesn't have that much experience like Mthalne had, right? So that was a question. Is he going to be able to? He even said in the post-fight interview, he's a really good kid too. I really like how he's well-spoken. He's intelligent. He's a great kid to listen to. I really liked it.
Oh, awesome.
I really liked him. The thing was like, yeah, what he said though in that fight was like after like in the eighth round, my legs were gone, and he was being honest, right? Like, look at that, the amount of energy you spend and you burn when you're on the move consistently,
Yeah.
constantly, like
Well,
Edwards was.
yeah, and you saw that in the last couple of rounds where he was still moving, but he was probably so tired when he was at distance, he just had his arms down even.
Yeah, yeah.
So, but the other thing I noticed was Mthalne,
Mthalne.
M. Night Shyamalan. He couldn't cut off the ring.
I know. Why didn't he? His corner was ridiculous. That was a ridiculous thing. Why his corner didn't say that to do that, because it would have made a big difference.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, I mean, there was a lot of movement, a lot of feints with his feet. It was hard to try. I get that, but maybe also when you're 38, it's a lot harder to cut off the ring than if he was 25. True. I don't know.
True. Who knows? We're not sure how he felt. And in the lighter weight class, 38 is ancient in the lighter weight class. 112 flyweight. One thing with Sonny Edwards, that's his first fight at flyweight. He moved down from super bantamweight.
Yeah, that's right.
To that weight class.
Yeah.
The thing is, so Sonny Edwards' coach, Colin Nathan, revealed, like the lead up to the fight, sometimes coaches talk. Like, we're gonna do this and we're gonna do that. Let's divulge our game plan so they know what they're gonna do. And whatever. And so Moruti Mthalne's coach, Colin Nathan, revealed the game plan, pretty much saying we're gonna chase Edwards until we catch up to him and finish him off. So he I'm sure they really stuck it into his head, because a lot of it's mental. Like, you have to move, you gotta dig as deep as you ever done before. You gotta go into that place that you've never been before if you want to win a world title.
Right. That's right. Yeah, and that's what makes that such a good win for Sonny, right? Is the fact he was pushed to 12 rounds. He had to maintain focus for all 12 rounds against a guy that's the champion and very experienced.
Yeah.
So he's obviously developing his mental game, his mental strength as well. And he's 25 and he's got a belt.
He's 25. His brother is a fighter too. Charlie Edwards was a world champion too.
Oh, wow. Cool.
I can't remember if he still has a title or he was flyweight champion, but props to the kid. He stuck to the game plan.
Yeah.
He went somewhere where he didn't think he could go, and honestly, I thought Mthalne was gonna finally get to him. Would get to him. With the experience that he has too, but great performance.
Yeah, excellent. Look at all these fighters coming out of Britain now.
I know, man. I know. At all weight classes.
Yes.
Great program.
Heavyweight all the way down.
One of the lightest weights, yeah.
Two heavyweight champions. Like, that's incredible.
Yeah. They got maybe with the biggest fight that in boxing that's gonna happen this weekend. Another British fighter.
Yeah. Billy Joe Saunders. All right, let's keep going.
Anyway, okay. So so then we'll go over to the Manchester. Oh, sorry, this is the same card. No, this is the next day's card. In Manchester, at the Manchester Arena in Manchester, and this is another Matchroom card. And once again, Doc, I fought there too at the Manchester Arena in Manchester.
I like that.
Como Games.
Yeah, it looks good. It looks very personal. Like the crowd is right there.
Yeah,
way back. Way back.
And British fans. They're the best. British fans.
They're the best. They're amazing. Yeah.
So we got a whole card here on DAZN that happened on Saturday. Started at 2:00 with the first televised fight of this card. We got Dimtry Bivol from Russia, 18. Now he goes to 18-0 with 11 KOs with a 12 round unanimous decision over very game Craig Spider Richardson from London, UK, who now falls to 16-2, won 9 KOs. Scores are 118, 110, 115, 113, 150, 114 for Bivol. One thing is Bivol has been out of the ring for over a year, so this was a good fight for him to get back into the swing of things. And light heavyweight division.
Yeah, he looked really good, I thought, Bivol, for being out for almost 18 months, I think it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I watched that fight too. That was a fun fight to watch, actually. And this guy Richardson is not just a gamer. He went 12 rounds, but he can fight. He can box. And when he threw some combinations, which was rare, and not going to the body, which he should have done, but he had success. Every time he threw combinations, he had success. He would even drive Bivol back, and Bivol only moves straight back. He doesn't move back at an angle either. So I know his corner, Richardson corner, kept shouting at him like, start throwing punches, throw punches. And I don't know if he didn't listen or it was too hard, but whatever the reason, he just didn't throw enough. That was his problem.
Yeah.
He could have made that a close fight. And that's the difference. That's the difference, Cooner, I think, that you see among the top tiers, like a Bivol and a guy like Richardson, is they listen to their
coach. Yeah.
And they fight hard every round. They don't let up. They throw their punches every round. And so they have many more successful moments than a guy like Richardson and all the guys like him. They have moments every few rounds, and that's just not enough at the top tier level. And I don't know what it is, if that's a focus, if that's mental toughness, I don't know. But the real successful guys at the top of their game, every round they show up. Mayweather was the same way.
Yeah, you got to show up every round. You can't take the rounds off. Sometimes fighters they're instructed, hey, take the round off. That's it. But if you already have rounds in the bank,
right,
that's different. Yeah.
Yeah, and not if you're behind. You can't take the
not if you're on. You can't do what De La Hoya did with Trinidad and got on the bike for 6 rounds, whatever, 5 rounds, and through the fight.
That should have been the that fight, the Trinidad De La Hoya fight. That's the blueprint of what not to do.
Yeah,
when you're ahead.
Yeah, you got to keep fighting.
Yeah, because that says a lot to the judges too, right?
Yeah.
So true. Yeah, but it was. But Bivol still looks good, even though he was out for 18 months. He's gonna be a tough.
Can you imagine Bivol and Beterbiev, 2 Russian guys, going head to head? How great that would be. We may see that, but Bivol's already beaten Joe Smith Jr.
Yeah.
Jean Pascal. Isaac Chilambe, Sylvain Barrera.
Oh yeah,
he knocked out Barrera, and he's 6 foot, right? Yeah. And he's 30 years old, so he's in his prime.
Yeah, totally.
Hopefully, we see him with Beterbiev or. Yeah.
I know Beterbiev's probably going to fight Joe Smith Jr. So we'll see.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
that's true.
But that fight has to happen at some point.
He'll crush Joe Smith Jr., man.
I think so.
I think so.
For sure.
Joe Smith Jr. is a fighter. Like he wants to fight.
Yeah, he's not a boxer though.
He's not a boxer. I wouldn't say he's not intelligent, but he doesn't fight intelligent.
Yeah, and that's probably because of the lack of amateur experience, the lack of pro experience too.
Yeah, true. And he's just a tough power puncher type of fighter.
For sure.
Yeah.
Keep going, dude. I just got my dog. I got
okay.
Ouch.
Okay. You should have said that inconspicuously. No one would have known, but they're pointing it out. But anyways, so still at the Manchester Arena, we got Katie Taylor from Bray, Ireland, who she retained her WBC, WBA, IBF, WBO lightweight world title with a unanimous decision over Natasha Jonas with scores of 96-94, 96-95, 96-95. And this is a rematch of their 2012 London Olympic quarterfinals in which Taylor won 26-15 Ireland versus England.
Right.
Did you? I didn't really watch this fight, just maybe one round.
Yeah, I watched the fight. It was a close fight.
Yeah.
And one thing
runs,
with, sorry, I was just going to say I've watched a few fights with Katie Taylor now.
Yeah.
And she is really skilled. She has good technique and she throws a lot of punches. She goes to the body too, but she mainly headhunts, but she still goes to the body. And she throws a lot of combinations. I think her only weakness is she does not have power.
That's like the weakness with a lot of female fighters that I'm not trying to generalize or whatever, but I'm just saying you look at the knockout ratio, knockout percentage is low.
Yeah.
The rounds are only two. I don't like the 2-minute round thing. The rounds are over. It's like amateur boxing. The rounds are over so quick.
I agree. It's pro boxing.
1 minute's an eternity, man. You take 1 minute off. That's huge.
That is huge. Also, and remember, I also remember that fight she had with the Dutch girl.
Yeah, Delphine Persoon.
Wow, man, your memory for names is good.
Yeah, I actually remember this fight because they fought twice, and first one, Persoon won that, and most observers said that she wanted to give to Taylor. The rematch was similar.
I thought she won both fights.
Yeah. Yeah.
I absolutely thought she won both fights.
She was Dutch. Yeah. Good girl. She deserved it. She deserved it. I think I'd
like to see I'd like to see Taylor fight outside of England.
I mean, but who though? I mean, she's already kind of ruled out the Clarissa Shields fight because there's a weight discrepancy.
Right. It's what's her name? Starts with an S. This other
Serrano, yeah, the Puerto Rican.
Yeah. So I'd like to see her fight in the US because then she's not going to have the judges necessarily on her side. I think they'll be more neutral.
Yeah.
And I think that needs to happen also if she wants to become even bigger.
Yeah, she needs to. She needs to do something of that caliber. Only the big fights for her. Yeah, let's see. So then we move on, Doc, to the next fight.
Yep.
Yeah, and this is not in order, but we got Chris Eubank Jr. for Brighton, UK. Now improves to 30-2, 22 knockouts. With the 98-92, all three scores are 98-92, unanimous decision over Morrison Hartley from UK, who now falls to 23-4 and 16 KOs. So I haven't seen a lot of Chris Eubank fights, a few of them. And I've never really been a fan, but I am now. I'm a fan now because of Roy Jones Jr. He's got the Roy Jones Jr. effect. Jones this is the first fight with Roy Jones in his corner, and it looks great.
You know something? It's funny you say that because I was never a real a big fan of his, of Eubank Jr. And I thought that this fight with Morrison was probably his best performance. I thought he looked really good. I love the way he was throwing combinations. I love the way he was in throwing combinations and out just enough, like total Roy Jones, not over the big, right? Just out of range, like the best guys do. So I was so happy to see that.
One thing is like training with somebody, and another thing is listening to what they say, absorbing it, and then implementing it in the ring when you fight. and he did exactly that. Like you could see the Roy Jones, like that Roy's like this, like boom, like
Yeah.
very
You know,
nice
when it's
boxing. Like it was nice. It was a good performance.
very good. That was, and I've seen a bunch of his fights, including the one where he lost to Billy Joe Saunders, but
Mhm.
that was a real razor. That was a really close
It
fight.
was, eh? Yeah.
Either way.
Oh yeah.
A lot of people say even Eubank Jr. won that fight, but
Really? Okay.
that's neither here nor there now. But
Yeah.
so watching those other fights and now watching this past fight, I think that was his best performance.
Mhm.
He did really well. I like the way he looked. But that
Yeah.
was, by the way, at 160, not at 168.
Yeah, right. Because he went down. He
Yeah.
went down and weight.
And I think that was a good move to go down.
It sometimes is. But then
Yeah.
if you look at the other fight that I didn't even put it on here, but we got Mick Conlan with his fight, and he went down in the weight. He went down a weight class. He went down from featherweight 126 to 122, and he looked gaunt. He looked subpar in it was a majority decision against a European fighter, Baluta from Romania. Wasn't impressed at all with him. So sometimes going down in weight, especially in the lower weight classes, it takes a lot out of you.
A lot of you. Yeah. You're right. True.
Some of them lose the weight on purpose to get that advantage, strength advantage.
Yeah. It's funny because to go down from super middleweight to middleweight, that's 8 pounds.
Mm-hmm.
That's a lot compared to going from 126 down to 122, which is half that amount, 4 pounds. So
yeah, true.
But maybe it's just a better for his frame.
Who knows? It may be.
Yeah.
Sometimes you got to move down to move up.
Literally, yes.
Yeah. So this is what Chris Eubank says, like, I'm back on TV. I've been fighting. This is my home. This is my life. This is what I do. I wanted to go the distance and get those rounds in. I'm happy with the performance. I'll follow the instruction. He was telling me to do things in the corner, and I went out there and I did it. And he's talking about Roy Jones. That's kind of alien to me. Usually, most of my career has been dependent on what I want to do, my instincts, my reaction. But now we have a head coach in Roy Jones, and I fully trust him. I'm happy to be paired up with him. So that's great. That's a great match.
I love it. Because maybe he'll get a Triple G fight. You never know.
His career's been stagnant. Like it's been like he's just, he had that one in Cordova, but it wasn't like this will get him to the level.
Yes,
past that level.
Absolutely. And then there's all these opportunities at 160.
Yeah.
Right.
We got Charlo.
Yeah. Triple G. I mean, you got some.
Where is Triple G, man?
I don't know.
Doc, the fighter that's now training Deontay Wilder, Malik Scott.
Oh, really?
Heavyweight, yeah.
Oh, I remember Malik Scott. He got knocked out by Wilder.
Yeah. Did they fight?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah?
Okay. Yeah, they did. Yeah. And Wilder knocked him out.
Can't beat him, join him.
Yeah, why not?
Right.
That's right. Malik Scott. I remember that fight too.
Yeah.
Got hit with a stiff cross. Went poop.
And that lights out, eh?
Lights out. What else we got, bro?
So moving over. Now we're gonna go over to the PBC card, which was on Fox, and then the earlier portion of this was televised, but I'm not talking about the earlier part, meaning the beginning fights.
The preliminaries, yeah.
This was like we're talking about Islandi Lara. He fought on this portion. Yep. Then they went over to the pay-per-view portion of this.
Right.
And this is at the Dignity Health Sports in Carson, California. And the first fight of that day started at I think 7 or 8.
Yeah, early because you saw Sun and the
Exactly.
Shadow.
Yeah. And it's California too.
Yeah, yeah.
So, um, Islandi, the American Dream, Lara from Houston, Texas, by way of Guantanamo Bay, Cuba, improves to 23, 16 KOs, retains his IBO WBA middleweight title with the first round KO over Thomas Cornflake Lamana, 30-5 and won 12 KOs from New Jersey. Did you see this, Doc?
Yeah, it was one round. It was one
I was
round.
happy to see that quick.
Yeah, me too. His left hand was just deadly. And it was precise, and that guy didn't have a chance against it.
He didn't have a chance, but even though he had a really good record at 30-4.
I know.
Right?
But he looked real good. He's 38 years old now.
He's 38 years old. That's gonna be the thing with Lara. It's 30. To see, the thing was like, are we gonna see the Lara that we're accustomed to seeing, like the holding? No, I'm not saying he holds all the time, but he'll hold inside. He moves around. The nice Cuban, but I mean, it's very skillful. But skillful fans like to see that type of fighting. But it's not always crowd pleasing, and Guillermo Regan-Yao is an example of that, where the Cuban style becomes kind of boring, and the fans like, the engaging.
We want action.
Yeah, but he landed that boom knockout. I was happy to see that. Like Lara, he went for it right from the beginning.
Yeah, you could see it. He was just, that left hand was always ready to go. And every time that dude Lamina stepped in, boom, pulled the trigger on it.
Yeah.
Very precise too.
Yeah. Well, right on the button, that knockout was sick. It
was beautiful. Guy dropped like a sack of potatoes.
So he did. So this is what Lara says. He goes, I feel great physically. I'm going to keep doing this until my body tells me I can't do it no more. I don't feel like I've taken a lot of punishment in my career, and I don't have at least another 3 years left. And good point. He hasn't taken the damage. Floyd Mayweather had a long career. He didn't take damage. Fighters that don't take the damage can have a longer career.
Absolutely, and that's very true. Even in the fight against Canelo. Now, mind you, Canelo is still a lot younger than he is now, but even the fight against Canelo, he didn't take much punishment. He took enough for Canelo to win, but that was more because he didn't throw a lot. But that's why that guy is around at 38. Yeah,
exactly. That's the reason.
And we got someone else on the undercard who's much younger, and I don't see too much more future for him. But I'll talk about that once you get to that fight.
On the undercard of this?
Yeah. Or maybe it was one of the main fights. I don't know, but
you can't do this to me. Tell me.
Sorry, bro. It was the Omar Figueroa fight.
Okay. Yeah, I agree.
That guy's already taken in every fight he's ever had.
Mm-hmm.
Now, he tried moving a little bit in this fight, but every fight he's ever had up to this fight, including, he gets hit a lot, and he takes a lot of punishment.
Uh-huh.
I can see they tried. He was doing all this type of movement, but it wasn't. It was predictable. I think one of the announcers coined it perfectly. He said, "This is TikTok."
That's right? What he said. Yeah, TikTok. I like that. It was the here, there, put an X here, put a there. His style was so like here, and then it was weird.
It was weird.
Borderline weird. I'm like,
yeah. So that fight a surprise? The outcome of that fight a surprise to you?
No, because Abel Ramos is a very, very tough fighter, and let's just go right to that. Abel Ramos from Arizona is 27-4, and 2 draws, 21 KOs. He stops Omar Panterita Figueroa Jr. from Wilcasco, Texas, who now falls at 28-2, won 19 KOs, and a 6-round knockout. And this was a WBA welterweight title eliminator.
See, so that dude's taken a lot of punishment. Could he fight at age, still be fighting at age 38 with that amount of punishment? No one knows for sure, but probability suggests no.
Yeah, he should get out.
Yeah. He needs good, like if he wants to stay healthy.
He should take a step back now and let his brother Brandon Figueroa, who's undefeated and a really good fighter.
He's a good fighter.
Who's fighting? Is he fighting Luis Neri coming up? Like it's a
Neri? Yeah,
I think it's Neri, but
that's a nice little fight there.
Great fight. Great.
Experience.
So Ramos is the uncle of Doc. Do you know that like our uncle and the nephew fought on the same card?
That's crazy.
They fought before, like, but never on the same card.
Yeah.
And Ramos's nephew, he's the uncle of Jesus Mo Ramos. He's from Cassandra Grande, Arizona, who fought on the undercard.
Yeah.
And he looked like a lot much better.
Yeah.
Proven to 16-0, 14 KOs with a 10-round unanimous decision over a very game Javier El Intouchable Molina from Norwalk, California, who falls to 22 for 9 KOs. Uncle and nephew.
There's been a lot of Molinas in the history of boxing, eh?
Lots of me. Pardon?
And they've all been tough.
It's like if your name is Molina, you know this guy's a good fighter. It's tough.
Yeah,
do you remember John Molina?
Yeah,
I liked him. He was a really good, like, nice fighter until De La Hoya beat him up.
Yeah, that's right.
So then we got Duck. So then we're just gonna go over to. I spoke about that Ramos won a 10-round decision. Let's go over to the next fight. And let's pay a little bit of attention to this guy. Super welterweight Sebastian, the Towering Inferno, Fondora from Coachella, California, improves to 17-0, 12 KOs with a TKO over Jorge Dimino Cota, who falls to 30-5, 27 KOs with Los Mochis, Sinaloa, Mexico. And the first thing is obviously the height and reach of Fondora. It's unbelievable, right?
Yeah.
It's 6'8" or is it 6'6"?
I can't remember one of those, but he looks like
he
looks like a basketball player, like a center.
And you would think like Fondora would fight using his physical attributes, and that's his long arms and height, but he does not at all. He's a straightforward Mexican fighter. Like,
I was so surprised to see that. I thought for sure he's gonna just fight at distance, but he fought inside, and he ended up knocking him out when they were both on the inside.
Yeah,
he was actually a decent inside fighter.
More than decent, deadly. Deadly. He punches hard. He's 17-0, 12 KOs. He's a hard hitter, a physical specimen.
Yeah. He's wow, man. I would love to see him. I need to see more of his fights because I'd like to see how he fights if he ever fights at distance. Because as he starts fighting better and better opponents, he has to have a well-rounded game. Fight well on the inside, which he does, but can he fight on the outside? I don't know. Do you know?
I don't think he's been pushed where he had to fight on the outside and box, where he's usually the dominant force against an opponent. The thing is, when you get to that level, like, you gotta have a whole bunch of tools in the toolbox.
Yeah.
You can't just go to work with a toolbox that has a few tools you may need a whole bunch of other ones.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. And I think we're seeing that in boxing now because the skills are getting so good and everybody's got a lot of tools. So you have to. I think defense now in this age has become even more important. And I think these young guys are finally learning defense, better defense.
Yeah.
I'm
The
excited
the importance of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Defense and footwork, quick feet too.
Yeah, defense wins defense wins championships in every
Yeah.
sport. It's in a sport like boxing where you take punishment and things like that. Not taking that punishment and whatever that, like Laura was talking about, his ability to stay in the sport longer, maybe 3 more years, because he doesn't get hit a lot.
That's key. That is so key. Yeah.
But then you can have like Rigondeaux, you know, when he that movement and all that, but your legs can't withstand that kind of movement.
Yeah.
Like Sonny Edwards was able to do it because he's only 25.
Right.
He did it. But
Yeah.
Rigondeaux can't do that anymore. He's standing toe to toe, and he's got a big fight coming up too, and I'm forgetting the opponent, but he may get knocked out in that fight because he stands there now.
Yeah. And psychologically, he's taking a loss on his record too.
Yeah.
So that might work against him. We'll see how well he recovers from that.
Yeah.
But you're right. Legs go. Oof.
Legs go.
Hard to keep fighting.
It's hard to move. Your legs get tired, man. When you're older, your legs get tired.
Take it from me, man. I know because I only started sparring in my 40s. And the first thing that always got tired were my legs. Always.
And you become a sitting duck, eh?
Yes. And then you're hardly moving. And that's you're a punching bag.
Yeah. And that's why, and also the importance of going to the body and expediting that process of him losing the leg strength and his ability to move. Expedite it.
Key, man. That's key.
Yeah, totally. And we've seen a couple fights this weekend where it should have been like Mthalne should have been going to Edwards's body and hurting his body because that will stop him from moving so much and at that pace to make him tired.
Yeah, absolutely. But I don't think he could I don't even think he could get to his body.
Yeah, you're right. Being 38 years old, he couldn't, because there was times he was winging for the body and he didn't even get close.
And he would see how many check hooks he got caught with?
Yeah, often.
Yes, I was thinking about you because we worked a lot on check hooks.
I love that check hook. It's nice, isn't it?
I love it. I always think of the Mayweather Ricky Hatton fight.
Well, that was the best. Hatton came after him, boom, and then he goes face first into the ropes.
Yeah, that can even have power. That punch on it, a check hook.
And when you don't expect to get hit, then those ones hurt. That you don't see and don't expect. Those ones hurt.
Yeah.
Good point. After that knockdown, he was done. After that,
it was over.
Okay, Doc. So then we go over to the main event of the card, and then we got Andy the Destroyer Ruiz Jr., who now he won a unanimous decision. Who now improves to 34-2, 22 KOs with unanimous decision over Chris the Nightmare Arreola, and the scores are 118, 109, 118, 109, 117, 110. Arreola falls at 38-7. 28 KOs, I think. I'm missing out. But,
got a lot of KOs,
Yeah, so what did you think? What you saw this one, Doc?
Yeah, I did. So first of all, to me, it was an important fight for not just Ruiz, but for potentially for the heavyweight division, because him winning which everybody expected, and looking good, that puts him up there in the mix with the top guys.
Mhm.
just for the mere fact that he beat Joshua. If he hadn't beaten Joshua, I don't know if at one point, I don't know if he'd be considered one of the top guys. Wow, Arreola fought the best I've seen him fight. He was patient, but I don't, that flash knockdown where he knocked, I think it was in the first round.
I think it was fourth or something.
It was real early.
Was it?
First or second, yeah.
Yeah, second. You're right, second
round.
Yeah.
That's because he's always been dominant inside. Ruiz, he's a good inside fighter. We saw that.
Yeah.
And I don't think he expected that that he could be outboxed on the inside by Arreola. And Arreola threw that very short punch and flash knockdown. He went down. Yeah. I think he was getting careless in there.
Yeah. And there was, sorry.
Go on.
No, and there was more than one occasion where Ruiz was hurt by Arreola's right hand. Arreola, he was throwing that right hand, and he was like, you could see that right hand. It was coming because he overcompensated it, and he wasn't like back here throwing like that. It was like bang.
Right.
Boom.
That's
like,
right. That's
like
right.
That boom coming like that.
Yeah.
And okay, Arreola is 40 years old. To be honest, before this fight was even announced and stuff, and like a while ago, maybe a month ago or whatever, I didn't even know Arreola was still fighting. Like he hasn't fought in 3 years. He came back. He lost a substantial amount of weight as well.
Yes.
And
he's with Goosen, right?
He's with Goosen, and you got to give a lot of credit to Dan Goosen for.
His brother.
Yeah, the brother. For such a great game plan, and he's a really good coach. You got to give him that. Like
he's a very knowledgeable boxer.
Very knowledgeable coach, and see the coaches how they make a difference.
Yeah.
With some fighters.
Yeah, if the guys listen to their
if they listen,
they usually do better.
Mm-hmm. Because you can see, as a coach, you can see a lot of stuff that the fighter doesn't see, and the fighter sees stuff you don't see. Get together, talk about it, and this is what you talk about.
Absolutely. And so Arreola did look good in that fight. He had good energy all the way through. I did think Ruiz did take over like around the third, fourth round, which is expected, but it wasn't overly impressive, right?
No, the Ruiz's performance, no, not at all. It was a good performance. Let's take the win and let's move on.
Yes.
He even talked about himself. Ruiz, and I like Ruiz. He's very humble, and he's nice, pleasantly spoken.
Yeah.
And he was saying that he's like, I had a lot of ring rust. He kept reiterating about his ring rust, and that's true. He's been he's been away for a long time, lost a lot of weight and everything. He's been out of the ring, hasn't fought since the Joshua rematch in Dubai. So let's give him the benefit of the doubt and let him move on. He's just gonna get better and better as the team is with.
Yeah. And I think he's got to get used to his new body as well, and just have more confidence in that he losing all that weight is gonna make his conditioning way better, and he's not gonna slow down at the 10th, 11th, 12th. And he did really well.
He did.
The score was a little. I thought it was closer than it was. The score like 118-109. No, I don't think so. I don't think so.
No, those scores were real. It was a closer fight. It was close. And Arreola too. You ever listen to Arreola? He's always swearing in the interviews. Man, fuck that. Look, those scars. What the fuck was that? Like the way he talks, he always swears on live TV.
Oh yeah.
I don't know why he's not censored. And
I don't know, but that's him. That's who he is. He uses that.
Him. You're right.
He's not. What you see is what you get, I think, with Arreola.
Yeah, but to me, it's classes. In the crowd, we had King Kong Ortiz there at at that fight. So
Was he?
yeah, Ortiz was there. So obviously, like we're not trying. Well, everyone looks ahead of a guy of a fight. He wins this and he's gonna fight King Kong Ortiz. Ortiz was at the fight. Usually that means he's coming to watch something. They may get it on next, not be a good fight.
Wow. Yeah, there's a name I haven't heard in the mix lately.
Yeah.
Since his loss to his second loss to Wilder.
Yeah.
He must be
he's old too, yeah. Which he was doing well too in that fight.
He was,
and then he was doing well. So I mean, these guys are all in the fray. Like we don't know right now about the Joshua and a Fury fight. Like, what the hell's going on? Is that happening? And this back and forth.
It is happening. I just listened to the most recent interview on DAZN with Eddy Hearn. Like it was, when I looked at it, it just said 40 minutes ago, right? So what he said, like Bob Arum's the one that's been saying, "Oh, I haven't heard from Eddy Hearn."
Yeah. It's dead in the water.
Hearn said, first of all, it wasn't 2 weeks. I'd spoken to him 3 days before. Secondly, it's in with the lawyers now. Everybody's agreed to everything. Now there's 3 different sets of lawyers involved. And that's what is taking time right now. As the lawyers hash things out between themselves, that takes time. And he said, "Listen, this is the biggest fight, money-wise, as far as site. What do they call that?
The site fee.
Site fee. Like there's been no bigger site fee than what they're proposing for this fight.
Right.
And so Hearn said also,
I think it was 150 million.
50 mil. And Bob Arum and Hearn said about Bob Arum, he's been involved with mega fights, but never where the site fee was this high. So there's a lot of things in the contract that have to be make sure everything's signed, dotted, and T's are crossed. So the fight's happening. The fight is happening. That's what I've got to believe Eddy Hearn, because look how many fights he's been putting on. It's amazing.
He's the best promoter in boxing right now, for sure. Hands down.
Do you think there's a correlation? You got this amazing promoter, and now with all these amazing boxers coming out of Britain. There's got to be a correlation.
100%. The program there, when it comes to boxing, is thriving in all aspects, in every way. Amateur program to the professional, the promoters, the venues, everything is thriving over there right now. Yeah.
I love that. That just shows you how. If and they have a lot of sports. Boxing in England competes with football or soccer.
For sure, it's very popular. It's with the market, the Queensberry rule that we've been hated.
It never gets old, man.
I throw it in there.
How are we doing for time? I haven't even checked. I don't even know.
We got 4 minutes up. Let's quickly talk about this weekend fight. The May 8th Cinco de Mayo fight with Billy Joe Saunders versus Canelo Alvarez in Texas, Dallas, Texas. And it's supposedly a 70,000 fan crowd in Texas.
Huge.
But right now, as it stands, because they had the first kickoff of the press conferences where they do the tour of and they started late, but anyways, and Canelo was there. I saw the video. Canelo was there, but Billy Joe was no show.
Right.
And the discrepancy right now is because of the ring size. Billy Joe wants the bigger ring, that the 24 or 20 or 22 inch.
He wants 24, but they'll agree to 22. That's what he said.
Yeah, but Canelo wants 18.
18 or 20.
18 or 20?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought it was just 18. It was going to be 18. Or
I could be wrong. That was something I just read earlier. Yeah.
Okay, but see, this is a
big difference.
Big difference, because the bigger ring benefits Billy Joe The
Yeah.
smaller ring benefits Canelo, but who's the cash guy? Who's the
Bingo.
Mayweather? Who's the Mayweather of this?
Who's got 4 belts?
Who's the Mayweather effect here, man? Like Canelo is the biggest guy.
They should just suck it up and go and fight, because they're not showing up for the press conferences.
Mhm.
Canelo's the A side. Canelo's got all the belts. Canelo's got the most to lose. So damn right, he gets to say, just like Mayweather would pick the catch weight, Canelo gets to say, put down the ground rules.
I picked the gloves. I pick it. I'm the cash cow.
Absolutely. That's how it should be.
So he's threatening right now to pull out of it and not
Ryder
be.
Yeah. Some dude named Ryder.
What?
I don't know. The guy's last name is Ryder from Britain. They want to come in. They said would come in and fight Canelo if BJS pulls out.
Oh, John Ryder or whatever.
Yeah.
Who the hell's gonna want to watch that fight?
Nobody. And this is a pay-per-view. So
that game won't sell. That'd be a huge flop.
And you think Canelo's team would give him enough if he pulled out now, that he in the future give him another opportunity? No way.
Never. And I don't know what the purse is right for Billy Joe or Canelo, but it's when the Canelo is when you fought Mayweather, you win the boxing lottery. Fighting Canelo is a boxing lottery. The thing is, BJS, Billy Joe's son, he knows he's gonna lose. That's why you don't want to go in that ring. Regardless, I would be like, whatever ring size you want. I'm coming here to win.
I know. And in an interview a while ago, Billy Joe Saunders said, I would fight Canelo in a phone booth. Well, guess what?
Jeez.
You got an 18-20 foot ring. It's a lot bigger than a phone book. So shut up and go and fight.
Yeah. And he's,
by the way, 24 feet. That's completely unreasonable too. A 24-foot ring. No way.
That's isn't that what Sugar Ray and Marvin Hagler fought in the 24-inch when Sugar Ray was just on the bike?
Yeah.
But anyways,
it affects. It has, once you're at 24 feet, then it does have an effect on the fight, depending on the type of fighters. 18 foot still gives you plenty of room. And by the way, anyways, what's your prediction for this fight?
I was gonna knock him out, man. He
Which round?
I think early it'll be like five, not that early, but 5. I say 5 or 6.
I think it's going to take a round or so for him to get used to Billy Joe's timing and movement. But I think because he's such a mover, they're too smart. And Canelo's going to right away go for his body. And I don't think Billy Joe Saunders has ever been hit to the body with power like Canelo has.
Yeah.
That's going to slow him right down and set up the knockout. My guess is within 6 rounds, he knocks him out.
I think the bigger question here is this fight going to happen?
Do you really think it's
I honestly thought from the beginning that he's going to pull out.
Really?
At some point. I don't know if I ever discussed this with you, but
No.
I thought, because I was reading stuff this other guy, he always been saying, I don't think this fight is going to even happen. And then I don't know, because
so then you weren't surprised to hear this thing about the ring size, right?
I mean, I thought it would be earlier in the lead up to it, but not like he's already there. He's been there. He's already there. He's been in Texas for a week already. Yeah. He's already there. I mean, I didn't think it was going to get to that point.
Oh, okay.
But like, I don't know. I don't like, Doc, like didn't the preliminary discussions must have been about the ring size. How was it that he just realized going there to Texas, the site of the venue and this place where the fight's taking place, and then realize, the ring's gonna be this small? That's not what we talked about.
That's a really good point.
The contract we signed.
Did you know the ring size in your pro fights? Did you know the ring size going in, or did anybody on your team know the ring size going in, or it didn't matter really?
I wasn't at that level of in professional boxing where it was millions and millions of dollars. They didn't care about telling you the ring size. Go in the ring and fight.
Yeah, good point. Good point.
You know.
So yeah, that's a very interesting thought. Why wouldn't he have known the ring size when they negotiated months and months ago?
Yeah.
Do you think it's a way he's looking for a way out?
I think so. I think that's what it is. He's looking for a way out.
That would be so disappointing. That would be absolutely terrible.
But us as boxing fans, are we like that surprised that like something like this can materialize?
Yeah, anything can happen before a fight.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's just the fight game, period. I think I've seen that in MMA too. The last minute stuff happens.
Yeah. Oh, that time when was he Bones Jones or whatever? He was suspended in one place, so they went somewhere else and had the venue there, and they switched it. Yeah, they did that with boxing too.
They did.
De La Hoya card, a Golden Boy card.
It was what's his name?
Houston, I think, moved it.
It was. There was also to get what's his name to fight Margarito after he got banned because of the glove.
Right. Yes. Yeah.
So he went and fought in Mexico or somewhere else. He had some other state in the U.S. He got a pro fight there because he wasn't sanctioned. He wasn't what do you call it? Suspended in that other state.
Yeah, in that state.
So yeah, but let's see if this May 8th fight happens. Let's see.
I hope so.
I hope it's
the undercard is not that good. But then the talk is like the undercard is not that good because they can't afford to pay any other fighters a good amount of money.
Yeah.
When actually the purses on the fights that we talked about, Abel Ramos made 150,000, Sebastian Fundora 70,000, Jorge Cota 60, Jesus Ramos 75,000, Javier Molina 85, Lara got 300,000, Lamana 85, and Andy Ruiz got 1 million, Ariola 300,000.
Wow,
not bad.
Not bad, especially for the guys up and coming.
Yeah,
good payday, 70 grand. That's not bad for Fundora, right?
Yeah, but then we look at it's in the U.S. the tax, the amount they gotta pay their promoter, your cutman, all that. You're gonna end up getting like 40 to 50% taken away.
For sure.
Unfortunately. Yeah. It's a fight game, man.
That's it. They know what they're getting into. Well, I'm hoping next Sunday or the next time we have our podcast next week that we'll be talking about the fight on the weekend.
Another victim for Canelo, another England fighter victim. Liam Smith. Who was the other one? Johnson.
Just last week,
Callum Smith or Callum Johnson. Liam Smith, Callum Johnson.
Yeah, a lot of these. Some of them are going down. Some of them are thriving, and some of them are going down.
Yeah,
you got some good, but I'm very excited to see what other British fighters are coming up, and because I am because they just cover every weight class as opposed to being like a lot of fighters from Asia who are in all the small weight classes. So
true.
It's nice to see.
But they got a great program, great coaches.
A lot of great trainers. All right, man.
Okay, Doc, then we done. Then hopefully we can talk about Canelo and
hope so.
Canelo's knockout next week.
If not, we're going to be talking about why the fight didn't happen.
Yeah, exactly. There's more controversy and stuff, and I bet the next headline we're gonna hear, BJS is back in England now. He took the flight back to England. He's gone. Fight is over. Fight is done.
Oh man, that's hilarious, man.
Okay, Doc.
All right, buddy.
All right. Okay, we out. Peace out.
Peace out.